Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us at the Future of Transfer and Transition Summit. My name is Courtney Grams, and I'm the Director of Faculty Communications at Austin Community College, and I'll be moderating the next couple of sessions this afternoon. As a reminder, you can ask our presenters any questions at all in the chat. That's the best way to join in on the conversation. You'll see a chat bubble in the top right-hand corner of your screen, and if you share your name and email with us there, then you can submit questions, comments, and I'll be relaying those on to our presenters. Without further ado, I'm excited to start this next conversation. We're talking about transfer pathways in high school with some of our ACC's college and high school relations team. So I would like to go ahead and introduce them. Welcome to Nissan Zuniga, our interim associate vice president. Welcome Jason Sanchez, our interim director of high school programs and enrollment partnerships. And welcome Rebecca Robinson Francis, our coordinator of high school programs. Thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, Courtney.
Thanks for having us.
Yep. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Take it away.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today, everyone. We're going to shift focus a little bit. I know the rest of the sessions that I've seen have been focusing on the transition from ACC to university, but this session is going to be on the transition from high school to college or university or workforce. The Division of College and High School Relations works with school districts to provide opportunities for high school students to earn college credits. We have several options for students, including articulated credit to dual credit pathways, career academies, dual credit core completion, early college high schools, and PTEX. This session is going to focus on career programs. Housed under the high school programs at career programs are housed under high school programs and consist of career academies and PTEX. They offer high school students opportunities to explore and gain knowledge in workforce areas. Could we go to slide 2, please? Okay, so PTEX are Pathways in Technology Early College High Schools. A PTEC is actually a T designation. They have to file an application with the Texas Education Agency, and it has to include an industry partner and a higher ed partner. Students begin the sequence of courses as freshmen, and the goal is to have them have an AAS by the time that they graduate from high school. TSI is required for students who are in PTEX, and the classes are usually at ACC campuses. Sometimes in the freshman year and early sophomore years, if we can, we will house those courses on the student's campus just to kind of keep them in their environment a little bit more. But then we move them to ACC campuses for all their upper level classes because we have all of the facilities and equipment that are needed. For PTEX, usually the high schools do the recruiting for the students who are going to be in those pathways. Now, career academies are an ACC initiative, and career academies focus on occupational skills awards or level 1 certificates that allow students to go directly to work once they complete those awards. They typically begin in the junior year of high school and have a 2-year sequence. Most do not require TSI because, because they are a level certificate or an OSA. And they often utilize ISDE teachers when possible. If you're not familiar with what an ISDE teacher is, that is a high school teacher who is SACS adjunct faculty qualified and has been hired by ACC to teach those particular courses in the content areas on the high school campus, but they're still working as adjunct faculties for us. And the way that we recruit for career academies is we have large showcase events that we invite the students to. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so you're wondering, what does this look like? So Advanced Manufacturing Academy is our most recent Career Academy that we've put into place. It's a 2-year sequence. They start as a junior, and you can see the courses laid out for junior year and senior year. While the students are in this pathway, they earn some workforce certificates as well as their level 1 certificate by the time they graduate from high school, so they can go straight on to work, or they can continue their associate's degree at ACE and then continue on to a 4-year. So we give them lots of options. Next slide, please. This is what we use to show the students kind of how the pathway works for them. As you can see in the blue area, it's the high school. So school, they choose their endorsement area. And in this particular case, it's business and industry with the manufacturing and STEM. And they start in the academy, which is their post-secondary credit portion. And then they move over to ACC and their certificate, which they usually get before they leave high school. If they don't, they can continue on at ACC until they do get it. We have students who completely finish sometimes because they've had life events that have derailed them for a while, but we try to get them right back on track and right back into the certificate, and then they can go on to their associate's degree. And over here on the right side, you can see the course sequences. So this particular one actually begins as articulated credit at the high school in technical drafting and electronics. And then we move down into the dual credit courses. Now, some schools don't have a drafting teacher, so that we have to do that dual credit as well. But if we don't have to, we don't. So those are the rest of the courses in the sequence that are dual credit. And then in the bottom little box down there, those are the courses that are available on the student's high school campus that apply to the associate's degree. So these are their transfer courses that they could take as dual credit in addition to the workforce classes for their certificate and move further towards their associate's degree. Next slide, please. So this is what our Health Science Academy pharmacy technician looks like. We also have an EMT and a phlebotomy pathway in both of these. Sorry, I need a little drink there. In the year, they take the 4 classes you see there, and in their senior year, they take the other 4. It's great that we've now worked this one out to where they can get years instead of 2.5. We did used to have the students have to complete in the summer, but we don't have to do that anymore. And the students go into this pathway and they get their pharmacy technician certificate. They even do an internship, and then they are ready to go to work. Can y'all hear me? My internet connection gave me a weird signal.
I can hear you, Rebecca.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, for this one, in the high school endorsement area, it's public services. And for those of you who haven't kind of put this together yet, high school endorsements are equivalent to our guided pathways. So they're just a sequence of courses that students can take that are laid out for them. So for a phlebotomy student, they get this PTCB national certification, which is a big deal because it is required now for anybody to work in a pharmacy. So even people who have been phlebotomy technicians pharmacy technicians for a long time, they're having to go back to school to get this certification, or they won't be able to work in their jobs. So this is a really big benefit that we can give to those students. And then they move into the pharmacy tech and then to the associates. And these over here, this one is straight dual credit. And the top part are the courses in the sequence for the level 1 certificate. And then the bottom part are the courses that the student could take that are transfer courses that would move them further down the road towards their AAS. Next slide, please. This is our biotech academy. This is another one of the It was kind of a silent one for a while, and it's official now. And we have a 2.5-year sequence and a 3-year sequence for this one. So this is a little bit longer than some of the others have been, but it's also a pathway that can be articulated to dual credit. And they start before their sophomore year in this one if they do articulated credit because of the high school requirements for the classes that they have to take to be qualified to take the courses at ACC. So it is an advanced certificate program. Next slide, please. And this is what the Biotech Academy, it's a STEM endorsement area at the high school. And our articulated courses are Biotech 1 and 2. And then the rest of the courses down here are the ones that they need to take to get their certificate. Next slide, please. And this is our Automotive Academy. We only have this one at Bastrop High School right now, but we're hoping to move this one out to other schools soon. This is one that is a academy that is articulated credit to dual credit. We actually have a teacher on the Bastrop who got his certification and is adjunct faculty qualified. And so his freshman and sophomore students get credit for 2 ACC classes. And then as juniors, they take 2 classes. And then as seniors, they take 2 classes. And by the time that they leave high school, they have the basic automotive level 1 certificate. Next slide, please. So this is more of the same that you've seen on the other academies. But with all of the courses that are available to the students through articulated credit and dual credit, they only need 3 classes to complete their AAS degree once they leave high school. So we're getting them as close as we can. Next slide, please. So the benefit of career academies is that the students in those academies, they have industry mentors. So they do, and they almost always have an internship, a clinical, or a capstone opportunity. And during that time, they hook up with an industry mentor. We also provide tutors to the students who are in the classes. The first ones we did were in the health science, and we found out that it made a huge difference for the high school students to be able to have access to a tutor that, that was content specific and was able to work with them through the lessons they were going through. We also have a number of workshop ability skills that we work with the ACC staff for resume writing, interviewing prep, and professional readiness. There's also a dedicated career academy staff. Their sole job is to work with the students who are in career academies or in PTECs and support them in any way that they need. We also provide a direct handoff to career scholars. So any of our students who are in career academies or in PTECs, but primarily in career academies, we turn them over, we give their names to the career scholars so that they can get the information filed for that scholarship so that we can help them move on through the rest of their education and we can assist them with paying for it. Next slide, please. So these are all of our current career academies. On the ACC campuses at HLC, we have the Advanced Manufacturing Academy. At Health Sciences, we have the Emergency Medical Technology, the Pharmacy Tech, and the Phlebotomy. And it is housed at 2 places. They start out at our Health Science Academy building, and then they move to Eastview campus. We have an Information Technology Academy, which is Apple Swift Coding, and that one is based at the Elgin campus and at HLC. And then we have academies that are located on just high school campuses. We don't make the students come to ACC. And for automotive, we have high school, and we're going to be implementing Northeast High School this fall. For biotechnology, we are at La and Navarro High School. For the Electrical Academy, we are at Travis High School and Navarro High School. And the Electrical Academy is a wonderful little thing that we're doing because it's not available to other ACC students. It is strictly a high school program, but when the students come out, they have a they have a certificate in electrical, and they can go to work for an electrical company in the area. The Engineering Technology Academy, Anderson High School, and we have an Electronics Academy at Manor High School. And we try to implement 1 to 2 academies each year, whether it's a new topic area or a new location. Next slide, please. So here is all of our contact information. Natalie Almanza is the manager for career programs, and she wasn't able to be here today because she's off on the beach. But she can help you with any questions that you have that come up after the fact, after today. And then Jason Mison and I are here and available for any questions you might have.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing all that information, Rebecca. And we do have some questions coming in, but just on a personal note, I actually grew up in San Antonio and went to a magnet high school focused on communications arts. So I got the benefit of a lot of dual credit and high school programs, but it's amazing to hear about these certificates and how students can be ready to go immediately into the workforce after graduating high school. That's an amazing benefit of all that y'all are doing. So thank you for sharing more information about that. So from Glenda in the chat, she asks, have you had any success with a pathway for teacher educators wherein they receive an AA in teaching or a partial pathway that they can graduate high school, finish at ACC, and go to university? And anyone can jump in on that, whoever feels most comfortable.
I can answer that. That's a great question, and you're absolutely right. Education Instruction is one of our career academies that we attempted to launch, and then COVID happened, but we do know the importance and the need for teachers. And so that is on our next list to implement, and it works in just that way. It would allow students to start while they're in high school and get as close as we can to AAT completion, and then adding on that 4-year partner as well.
That's exciting to hear. Another question in the chat from Renee, she says, what types of conversations is ACC having with these students about the transferability of these courses?
I can answer that as well. I was looking to see if Jason was going to respond. That's a great question, Renee. So we have a dedicated Career Academies team that provides not only the course advising and the guidance while they're in the program, but we also focus specifically on the Career Academies. We get them job ready if that is what they wish to do, or of course we continue them with continued next credential level work, whether here at ACC or for transfer. All high school students are also always referred to the existing college services for adult students, but anywhere we can and where we have dedicated teams to do that, we are providing that in a more smaller environment in a really strategic timeline of when they graduate.
That's amazing. And it sounds like you know their intention early on, whether or not they want to go into workforce or go to college.
I was going to add something. My mute button wasn't working, so I got stuck just trying to respond. It relates to PTEX. As a transferability, it goes, the AAS or the AS that some of these students are trying to achieve in the sequence. They had the industry partners designed to help with job placement, but also possible moving on to next level to four-year universities. So the high schools and us and the industry partners are always having those conversations about this is what could happen here at this moment. When you get your degree, you have this potential job placement, but you also, here's a next option as well for your 4-year degree as well. So it's not always just a one-stop, here's your certificate, go work, here are your other available options. Those conversations have with Natalie's team and with the students in the schools is carving out some of those pathways. Is that big word, right? The pathways of here's your job placement, here's a university or a university or two universities, industry partners. They really have this wraparound support of how to navigate some of these available options and opportunities for them. And then it's just helping them guide them to what they need to do, what they'd like to do, and then figure that next step out.
That's amazing. As a data nerd myself, I'm curious, do y'all have data that shows how often students continue on to college versus go straight into the workforce? Do y'all track that?
You know, Courtney, that's a great question, and we do have some data, but not a consistent way of collecting that. And so that is one of the things that we want to add. We absolutely are supporting students in helping them get to that next step, whether it's go to work, whether it's work and go to school or go to school full time. What we haven't been able to capture consistently is for those students who take a gap, for instance, and that happens as well. And so we are really working on gathering that consistent data trend so that we can really be able to enhance what we provide for students.
I'm going to encourage everyone in our audience, please pop any questions you have into the chat. But while we are waiting on that, we did get a comment back from Glenda, who must be from St. Edward's University. She says, please remember St. Ed's if you're looking for a partner for the teacher education option. We tried for a grant a few years ago that supported this model. Let's try again. So I'll just pass that on to y'all.
I think that's great. I think what's also, we have 2 educator PTECs coming on board this coming year. We have one at Aikens, which is not that far from St. Edward's, and their industry partner is their own district, as far as I know. And we also have Weiss High School in Pflugerville. So they're always available options. Universities are always looking for that, because we know in teacher education they need to have the bachelor's degree, and we're only one stop to their next journey, right? So we know we have the Texas Tech Teach program, but the schools are totally open to having other universities have bridge those partnerships and make those partnerships and have that bridge for those students and available options. So it's something worthwhile to have a conversation with Aikens, since St. Edward's is very close in proximity, and what they can do for those students potentially.
That would be exciting. It's awesome to hear that we're already making more pathways during the summit and the Future of Transfer Summit. It's amazing. Well, I am not seeing any other chat questions pop in, but do y'all want to provide any other information or maybe some closing remarks or food for thought for our audience today?
I just want to thank Rebecca and the whole team here for putting this all together, but also especially Rebecca for leading this conversation for us. When Misan and I both got tacked with this responsibility, who better to lead the conversation than someone who has really been in the weeds of articulation, but also the growing of the career academies. It's not a lot of people know about it within the college and even outside the college, and we're working on that for more exposure, because it's not all about the academic degrees. There's a whole litany of options in the workforce area that's still really untapped in some ways for a lot of high school students. So any way we can get the word out about all these wonderful options and opportunities, this is a great start, and pass the word along to those interested families and students and schools that can join our program and help them achieve success.
Exactly. And on that note, we did have another question pop in. When do high school students find out about the endorsements, and when are they exposed to the pathways?
I'll take this one. So high school students have to pick their endorsement pathways as 8th graders.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, it's 8th grade going into 9th grade. So they have to pick them at that point in time. And up until now, we've been mostly working, like if in the case of pharmacy tech, the students are going to come in as a junior, then we start working with them in their sophomore year to recruit them. However, we have just gotten a grant because we saw the need to go down to middle school. So we have just received a grant from the coordinating board, and we are now launching an effort to where we will be talking to middle school students and parents to start making them aware of how important it is to not only choose the right endorsement pathway for what they might want to do later, but also what math classes they need to take so that they're not behind. So there's a whole lot of little things in there. So we're just launching that part right now.
That's exciting to hear. That's awesome that y'all got another grant from the coordinating board. Congrats. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions in, so I just want to thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon and sharing all about college and high school relations at Austin Community College. Thank you so much for all the work you do and for sharing this information with our community. And we will see everyone online back again at 2 o'clock for another talk on transfer and men of color. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Courtney, for giving us the space.
Yes, thank you. Bye.